Welcome to Sal's Classic Bodybuilding Archives. Today's episode is a special request, and we're going to go back to December 1978 Muscle Builder Power Magazine. My Fail-Safe Back Strategy by Mike Mentzer. Enjoy. In both the 1976 and 1977 Mr. Universe contests, I placed second. I don't like losing because I'm in this sport to win. Losing before an audience of a few thousand is one thing, but imagine my horror when Oscar State, who supervises posing at the big IFBB contests, following the 1976 Mr. Universe contest, declared to an international television audience, which reportedly numbered in the tens of millions, that I had a weak back. The day that Oscar State uttered his now famous statement regarding what he believed was my weak back, I had spent comfortably submerged in my favorite armchair, awaiting the airing of the wide world of sports Mr. Universe coverage. Friends and relatives far and wide had been alerted. I had finally made it to the big time. I could hardly believe it. The wide world of sports, the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. As the coverage proceeded, and the time came for the posing of the three medium height class winners, I sat bolt upright and moved to the edge of my seat. Robinson posed first and received a glowing report from Mr. State. As Robbie left the stage, my heart rate doubled, for I knew I would be up next. ABC's Bob Beatty listened attentively, along with the millions in the viewing audience, as State continued his pose-by-pose commentary. All of a sudden, as I was beginning to transition from a side pose to a back pose, State almost shouted in a tone of authoritative pomposity, "There it is, Mentzer's back." Ah, his weak point. Did I lose a Robinson on my back? Was my back lagging that much? I had always trained my back hard, at least as hard as the rest of my body. If indeed it was lacking, what the hell was I doing wrong? The answer to my problem came. As I was still living on the East Coast at the time, I would make periodic phone calls to Joe, informing him of my progress and soliciting advice. I asked him about my back. The problem is not so much with your back development as with the control of the development that you already have, Joe explained to me. The back is comprised of so many different muscle groups that it takes a lot of practice to learn how to control all of them when you are posing. What you must do, Mike, is practice your poses while looking in a three-way mirror so you can see your back when you do pose it correctly. Then, as you become more familiar with how it feels when you hit the pose properly, you will be able to hit it without mirrors. When that phone call ended, I went to my Gray's Anatomy book and checked on the structure of the back. In addition to the well-known lats and traps, there are the teres major and minor, the rhomboids, infraspinatus, and an array of smaller underlying muscles. In order to make a pose like the double biceps back shot look perfect, a bodybuilder has learned how to bring out all those muscles at one time. Otherwise, even a well-developed back will appear deficient while performing mandatory back poses for the judges. Knowing all this, what is my excuse for losing the 1977 Mr. Universe? I have none. Again, I think it was my back. In the pandemonium of the pose down with Cal Scalak and Paul Grant for the title, I was wiggling in my back poses, searching for the ideal fix I had seen in the mirror. When I found it, I didn't hold it, dropping the pose too soon for anyone to see. While back control is important for contest posing, full back development will remain part of my design. I will allow for the maximum in training intensity. All of my back exercises are performed as heavy as possible while adhering to strict exercise performance. Forced reps, along with negative reps, are added where practical. Remember, as Joe Weider initially pointed out to me, the back is really a conglomeration of different muscles, each with a specific need. So, my back training includes a wide variety of exercises to ensure that all areas are worked. The following is an outline of my back exercises, along with a brief description of the sets and reps involved. 1. Pullover on Nautilus lat machine. It is important that you perform the straight-arm Nautilus pullover first. This exercise enables you to work the back without involving the biceps. Since the biceps are smaller than the lats, the biceps will give out in most back exercises before the back can be worked thoroughly. The Nautilus pullover will pre-fatigue the back first without involving the weak link of the biceps. The biceps will thus be fresh and strong for the second exercise, in which they will be directly involved and cause your pre-fatigued back to continue working beyond the point where you would normally fail on the exercise. I do 8 strict positive reps on this pullover, with my training partner helping me force out 2 or 3 more reps. Once every 2 weeks, I will do only negative reps on this exercise for variety and added stimulation. This exercise is always immediately followed with 0 rest time by an exercise that does utilize the strength of the biceps. 2. Close grip underhand pull down. The underhand grip with the palms facing you allows you to use the biceps in its strongest position. This will enable you to carry your back to a point closer to actual failure. I pull the weight all the way down to the nipples rather than stopping at the chin. This added movement provides about 20% greater range of motion, which means better results. After 8 strict reps, I do 3 additional force reps combined with partner assistance negative reps. In this exercise, I'm using 3 training principles. 1. Strict tension reps, full range of extension or stretch, and full contraction. Hold for 2 count. 2. Forced reps. 3. Reverse gravity or negative reps. The third exercise are one-arm dumbbell rows. Use as heavy a dumbbell as possible. Row high, elbows higher than the plane of the torso. This works the inner back, muscles alongside the spine, and the lats. I do 2 sets of 8 reps, going to failure on each. 4. Heavy barbell rows. This offers a different angle of pull, working even more on the back, including the rhomboids and the other back muscles. I do 1 heavy set, 8 reps strict, plus 4 forced cheats. This routine is performed on Tuesdays and Fridays at the beginning of my workouts. It provides me with 5 to 7 sets of high-intensity, full range of motion exercises. These exercises involve the middle back, the inner back, and the lower back. The important trapezius requires a different approach and will be addressed in the future. At the end of my back work, I practice tension work, striving to tense and cramp all the back muscles at the same time. I hold the tension 3 to 5 seconds. The weights build the mass, and my tension work helps me control and exhibit it. My past year of training has been successful. Am I going for the big stakes again? You better believe it. Well, thank you for joining me today. I do hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. I would appreciate it. And until the next video, keep training and chasing the dream.